Kiddos, what we are going to do today is we are going to dig into our grammar focus for the week, which is actually going to be verb tense. Now, last week we worked on subject verb agreement, and then this week we're digging into verb tense, and it's for two reasons. When we took our interim, I saw that those were the two areas that we struggled with the most. Now, I'm super proud of how we did with subject verb agreement, and so now we're going to dig into verb tense. Okay, so what we know about verb tense is that there are three different types of tenses. Hang on, kiddos. We're having again, I just cannot get my technical difficulties together today. That's not the right thing either. Good gravy. I just had it up before I started this video, kiddos. I'm so sorry. All right. So, what we're working on is verb tense. There are three types of tenses: past, present, and future. I want you to think for just a second about what do you know about past, what is present, what is future. Okay, try to answer those questions on your own for just a second, thinking about what you already know about past, present, and future. Okay. Okay, keep those in your head and let's see if they're right. So, simple verb tenses. We know that the verb describes what is happening, right? It's the action in the sentence. But when I combine it with verb tense, it tells, was that action happening in the past, in the present, or in the future? So let's dig in and see what those look like. Past tense. This tells me an action that has already happened, something that happened in the past. Okay, it happened yesterday, 2 months ago, 3 years ago, right? It's happened in the past, it's already happened. Let's look at some examples. Ben gave me a pencil. I know gave means that he already did it. Ben gave me a pencil, right? He already did that. The girl walked to school. A really good hint with regular verbs is going to be that ed on the end. When ed is on the end of it, it's usually already happened. Okay. Now you won't always see this, like with this one with gave. The present tense is give, right? And so it's an irregular verb, which that means is that when we change its tense, it doesn't just add an ed on the end. But a good indicator of past tense is going to be ed. And then this last one, we sang at the concert. Sang. We sang at the concert. Well, that already happened, right? These are all examples of past tense verbs. The next tense we're going to talk about is present tense. Present. That means right now. That means it's happening right now. So let's look at an example. Mark eats the apple. Now, all of the sentences that you saw this last week with subject verb agreement were present tense sentences. So you're seeing that Mark eats the apple. And notice we've got subject verb agreement here. It's singular, add an S to my verb, right? So these are going to have an S on them. Sometimes they're going to be just words like is, climbs. Okay. All of these verbs, it's telling me that it's happening right now. Okay. Present tense means right now. Future tense means it will happen. You're usually going to see this verb will. Hank will pet the cat. She will find a seat. Lynn will buy a bike. Okay, so let's look at some examples of what you're going to actually be doing this week. So this week, you're going to have some task cards that you're going to work through. Okay, they're going to have two different things. The first type of card you're going to see is where you're going to have to write a sentence. Okay, it's going to give you the verb. In this case, my verb is build. And it's going to tell you that you have to do this in the past tense. That means you have to make a sentence where you already have built something. So I could say, I built a fort last weekend. Okay, I've used that verb build. I'm putting it into a complete sentence. So when you see this type of task card this week, please type out an entire and complete sentence with a subject, predicate. My predicate's going to be this verb. It's already here. And make sure you're putting it in the correct tense, past tense. Okay. If this had said future tense, I could say, we will build a fort this weekend. If it said present tense, she builds a fort in her living room. Okay. Any of those things where you're just taking this word, this verb, and you're showing if it happened in the past, if it's happening right now in the present, or if it will happen in the future. The second type of task card that you're going to see this week is where you're going to have to do two things. There's a part A and a part B. Part A, you're finding the verb. We found a lost dog at the park. Well, we know my subject is we. Well, what did we do? We found. Found is my verb. Okay, that's part A. Now I have to tell you if the verb is past tense, present tense, or future tense. So let's reread the sentence. We found a lost dog at the park. Found. Well, I know that if it was happening right now, it would say something like, I well, find is a weird word. It would be fine. Like if I said I just found, that was happening right now, but found is definitely going to be a past tense one. Find is the present tense one. Okay. And then if it had been future tense, it says we will find, right? But I'm using found, which is the past tense version. So this is past tense. Let's look at this one right here. Same thing. You will laugh at Tom's joke. So what's my verb? Laugh. Okay, will laugh. Is that past, present, or future? Well, it's future tense because it has this will laugh on it. Okay, so two different things you're doing this week, kiddos. You are writing a complete sentence with a verb in the correct tense, or you are locating the verb and then telling if it's past, present, or future. If you need any help with this, kiddos, holler at me. Let me know. I'm here for whatever you guys need. Thanks so much for working with me today.